My name is Ronald Hendrikx and I'm a technology lawyer with Bird & Bird in London, and I co-head our global tech and comms group. Like me, you're probably awash with data. Some of it you create, some of it you interact with, because our environment kind of generates data, whether that is because of the car we drive in or some of the shops that react to us being there. And that is for a moment ignoring the industrial use of data to make energy networks and others operate smoothly and deal with flexibility. But the question is, what happens with that data? Where does it actually sit? And that brings us today to the topic of digital infrastructures and data centers. Data centers are those boxes, those sites where, like nerve centers, the data comes together and we build exchanges, allow the data to be fluid. At Bird & Bird, we deal with all aspects of the data centers, its entire life cycle. What are the legal issues around data centers? Well, when we look at data centers for our clients, we look at the full life cycle. We look at those people who are looking to invest, because the data story that we see develop around us makes data centers and their key role in creating a fluid and dynamic data industry really important, worth investing in. And as you've probably all heard, the data need is expanding, as is the fluidity. But that's not just where the story stops. The regulatory issues are also involved for those who operate the data centers, because a data center can be a host to others, telcos, data companies. But a data center operator can also choose to be itself involved in a managed service. And that could attract a range of regulatory issues, whether that is about data ownership, fighting terrorism, control of data in country, or quite the opposite, instead of control, making sure there's a vibrant data economy that allows others to use it as a platform for economic development. And that gets us to that third layer of people, the people who run cloud services, platform services, and want to benefit from the continuity that a network of data centers can offer. At Bird & Bird, we advise across all those layers, not just in the transactional space, how do I acquire a data center, how do I operate the services, but also that regulatory and legislative side, what is coming next? How will legislators look at data centers? Something that, for example, in the European Union, we see a lot of at the present time. Something that's replicated in many more countries where governments are keen to understand data flows, both to fight terrorism, combat crime, but also to ensure that there is that vibrant economy of data. What are we doing in this space? It goes back to that full life cycle. We help people, clients, with figuring out what countries are a good place to implement and store data centers, and there's definitely a change going on. On the one hand, we have the so-called hyperscalers, the large, well-connected data centers that can deal with data at vast volumes. And increasingly, we now see data centers getting smaller and getting closer to users, the so-called edge computing and edge data centers, because we want it to be easy for data to be processed at speed, high volume, close to where the action is. We're advising those operating those data centers, because running data centers and dealing with what information flows through them can be subject to a number of legislations, especially if actually the data flows support critical businesses. Those businesses need to be aware of where their data is and what is being done to ensure security. Security of service, security in terms of cyber security, and in the background, security of the data center itself. And that's both an element, again, of physical or cyber security, and importantly nowadays, sustainability, energy security, because data centers can be very power hungry. All in all, a whole range of legal topics that come into play when you look at data centers. They are not a simple building. They are not the carrier hotels that they once were, but they're very intricate ecosystems where data comes together. A firm like Bird & Bird looks at a topic like this, a digital infrastructure, an exciting asset class with a global perspective, and from both the technology, investment and operational side. If you would like to talk about data centers and how they play a role in your business, then please do reach out to us. We very much look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.